This is the Archie Miller Show, an inside look at Dayton Flyers basketball through the eyes of the coach. Now, here's your host, Mike Hartsock.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Archie Miller Show. I would say, where's the time gone? November to March, but it seems like 2 years ago since we played that first basketball game.
Yeah, the first basketball game was a long time ago. Unfortunately, it's such an incredible finish that it'll probably stand out in everyone's mind. But this season has flown by, and each week has brought, a different type of feel. But really proud of our guys in terms of the way they handled it.
Winners of 10 of the last 11 games to put yourselves not only in the conversation, but likely in the NCAA tournament. We'll find out more about that coming up later on tonight. But you have to feel good about the way your guys finished this season up.
Yeah, I mean, when you win, 10 out of 11 or 10 out of 12, whatever it may be, and at the beginning of the season, if you can, judge yourself out by getting, 10 conference wins in the league that we had with the non-conference schedule we had, putting ourselves in a situation to have 23 wins to finish it all off. I mean, that's a job well done. And we had a lot of new guys, and we had a lot of guys that had to come together. So I feel really good about the way we finished and how our guys really represented them, the team, the school, and most importantly, themselves.
All right, the way things started at the Barclays Center last week was Thursday as the Flyers took on the Fordham Rams, and you get things going early and jump on them real quickly.
Well, we were ready to go. Really felt good about our prep going in. Our guys were excited to be in New York to play, and very quickly against Fordham, our offense got going, which obviously, I think every team plays a little better when you make a couple shots.
Matt Cavanaugh really had a nice tournament.
He did. He started to shoot the 15 to 16-foot, jump shot, which we've been encouraging him to do here of late, and I thought it freed some things up.
Devin from outside knocked down 3 3-pointers in the first half as you scored 50 in the first 20 minutes.
I thought our offense, you had a lot of different guys doing good things. We were very, very aggressive, and that pass right there has been the key to our season. Guys just being unselfish and sharing it, taking a tough two, and passing it up to get an easy one.
Off the dribble, tough shot there by Scucci, but it's tipped back up and in as the Flyers, with Pollard getting the basket there, and then swinging around the defense and knocking down a three, Jalen Robinson.
Yeah, Jalen's really, has some good confidence going right now, and good extra pass by V.
Seibert pulls up and makes a tough 15-footer from the free throw line. Against the Fordham team, you were getting the looks you wanted just about every time.
Yeah, playing against Fordham, it's really about just making the extra pass and being unselfish. You're going to get some good looks. You just can't take the first open one all the time. And to our kids' credit, we were really sharp on offense. I thought that, to be in 12 assists, I think maybe in the first half or something like that was good to see.
You talk about a quiet game, though. V. Sanford scores a career-high 23 points. Didn't miss a shot, but here he is making one of his jump shots. It was quiet for him.
In the second half in particular, he was really a big reason why we won. We just had a rough second half, maturity-wise, but he was big. He was really big, and, he's had a good finish to the season. That's how seniors do it.
Kyle Davis coming off the bench to give you a lift. There's Sanford throwing in the three, and V playing really well. Kari Price off the dribble, and another quiet game, but another good game for Deshaun Pierre.
Yeah, Deshaun's trying to get him to be more aggressive behind the line. They're kind of just playing him for the drive, and it's good to see him take a couple and make them.
V. Sanford one more time, knocking down a shot on the inside. 9 of 9, didn't miss a shot in the entire game. You go into the locker room with a big lead, but I don't know, coming out of the second half, maybe kind of took it down a notch?
Yeah, I mean, being complacent, just a little bit maturity. And, when you're in a game in March and you're in a conference tournament, anything can happen, and we tried to avoid it. But, I thought Fordham in the first 8 minutes just came out and played. They were very, very aggressive. Our guys were a little bit at, heels sort of in the dirt, taking the punches. And it took us a little bit of time to start to regain ourselves. Luckily, we did. I thought V was a big reason why.
All right, let's take you back out to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and pick it up in the second half, and here they come, shooting it a little bit.
They really got hot behind the line. A couple times in transition, we weren't back ready, and a couple times some guys made some tough shots.
Deshaun starts taking over in the paint, though. What you were talking about, teams taken away from him, he was able to get against Fordham.
Yeah, they just really packed it in on him and just made things very difficult inside 10 feet. And, against Fordham here, we got him a couple post-ups to get him going in the second half.
Nice spin into the lane and dunks it home. V. Sanford once again draining a shot from the outside as the Flyers able to get some of that lead back. It's a 7-point ball game right here. Nice drive by Jordan Seibert.
Back-to-back possessions. You know, V hit a big three, and then Jordan had a big drive. And then I thought from this point forward, you know, right there, V shot right there, just another big senior play.
Sanford able to get it down. It's still a 5-point game at this stretch, but a nice drive by Seibert coast to coast.
Yeah, right around the 10-minute mark, I thought our defense started to get a little bit better. We were able to start rebounding the ball a little better. And once we did do the job on the glass, we were able to get the double-figure lead.
They get the offensive stick back here. Here comes V. Sanford, though, driving and scoring. And then looking down low, Devin Scott hits a tough turnaround.
Yeah, good job by Dev, posting up against the zone and getting a good 2-point basket.
Outside, inside, Oliver to the basket, high off the glass, and there's the family again. Maya got more TV time than just about anybody did over the weekend. Oliver slams it home back on the other end. Dayton goes on to the 87-74 win over Fordham to advance to the next round. V. Sanford matches a career high with 23 points, and Devin had 17. You shot 59% from the floor.
Yeah, we had one of those games offensively that, from a numbers perspective, will probably be all-time highs in a lot of categories. You shoot almost 60% and 50% from three or whatever we did, and you know the game got a little funny there for about 10 minutes when you don't have your focus. But you're playing against good players who can play, and the three-point line can change things.
One game down. Next up, the St. Joe's Hawks, and unfortunately, when push came to shove on Friday, there was no whistle. We'll talk about that and more when the Archie Miller Show continues.
Flyer fans, are you looking for some new gear for the games? There's no better place to look than the Corporate Casuals Fan Shop. They've reopened down on Brown Street next to BW3's, carrying the best selection and the best brands of Flyer attire for men, women, and children. They're open down on Brown Street during normal business hours, and you can also shop on the concourse at the arena during every Flyers home game. Corporate Casuals, the official outfitter of the Archie Miller Show.
Welcome back to the Archie Miller Show, and twice this season you played St. Joe's. They got you on a buzzer beater here, and they got you pretty bad at their place, so you were hoping third time was going to be the charm.
Yeah, I mean, everyone makes it out to be, hey, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, et cetera, but no, it's not. If they've beaten you twice, they can beat you a third time. But neutral court, you know, our guys were ready to play, which was a good sign, and you know, there was a lot on the table for both teams to continue to advance into the semifinals. So I was expecting our guys to compete, and I think St. Joe's is a really good team. They're a tough matchup for us, especially inside.
I was going to say, what is it about St. Joe's that gives you problems?
They got a great high-low, you know, tandem in Roberts and Kenisevic. And one guy makes their team go, being 6'11", being able to pass the ball inside out the way he does. He's tough. And then Roberts inside, probably one of the better post guys we've played against the last couple of years, just in terms of strength and being able to score. And then when you add in a Galloway who can really stretch the floor, you know, they're tough. And I think that they kind of polarized us a little bit in terms of what we're trying to take away, and at times they can get us. All
right, back to the Barclays Center for Friday afternoon's game as the Flyers taking on St. Joe's, and a nice drive by Jordan Seibert to get you on the board.
We got on the board early, and then from this point forward, I think there were 16 lead changes in the game, and it was nip and tuck the whole way. And, you know, we competed, they competed. It was a really fun game.
Seibert scored the first 5, and then knocking down a 3 ball from the outside was Deshaun Pierre. You take an 8-3 lead. It was going to be back and forth basketball all afternoon.
It really was, and it was good to see Deshaun take a couple shots from outside the paint. You know, I thought that opened things up a little bit for us. Typically, they really just pack it in and make us shoot, and, you know, got to get back to a little bit better, especially on Bembry.
That's one thing you can take advantage on when Kenisevic is in the post. You can attack him more than you can Roberts, can't you?
Yeah, I think so. You know, part of it is, you know, it's almost like he's forbidden to foul. He's not allowed to foul. They only play 5 guys, and they need those guys on the floor. And, you know, sometimes they'll give you some baskets to avoid the foul trouble.
Up top, Kari Price lines up a 3 ball and makes it a 1-point ball game a little bit more than midway through the first half. Then the Flyers pushing a little bit. Nice slide step that time by Jordan Seibert.
Our defense got us a few opportunities here late in the half, defense to offense. It gave us some ability to run, which it's hard to run on those guys because they don't offensive rebound. They just get back.
Tough basket by Jalen Roberts, and then V continued to shoot it well. He made 4 more before he finally missed a shot in this game.
Yeah, V had a good run there for a while for us. He's playing very, very confident. He's taking good shots.
Basket there puts you up by 5 with just under 3 minutes left to play in the first half, but it's a 1-point game later. Here's Langston Galloway going up and under and scoring. You go into the locker room down by 1 after leading by 5.
Yeah, a little disappointed at halftime, not with, obviously the players or whatnot, but we didn't take care of the ball. And we had opportunities up 4, up 5 with transition, and we had 2 turnovers on the break. And then obviously late in the half, we let Galloway sneak across the baseline for an easy 2, which gave them the lead at halftime. So we gave them 8, and I'd say gave them 8 points, but I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot at the end of the half. Felt like we should have had a lead.
Early on, it looked like Galloway's 3-point shots weren't challenged. I know that was a point of emphasis the rest of the way.
Yeah, it was a point of emphasis. He's a good shooter and he has a quick release. He's going to end up making over 300 in his career, so you're not going to shut him out. But we had a much more team approach. We didn't want to just blanket him and let the other guys play on islands. We needed to protect the paint a little bit better, which we did, and I think that put us in some situations where we had to close out a little further away, and he got some off. But for the most part, we were on him in the second half.
All right, 20 minutes of basketball left to play. Let's take you back to the Barclays Center. It's a 1-point game, and Kavanaugh goes to work inside with the left hand.
Wanted to get the ball inside. I wanted to see if we could go at him. I didn't think they were going to foul, and we got some starting inside-out action right there, first 2 possessions.
That was a nice pass by Deshaun Pierre. Kavanaugh open inside, then Oliver goes coast to coast and lays it up.
What an unbelievable shot with his right hand. His improvement over the last couple months has been unbelievable.
Sanford pushing, going to the basket, getting it to go, gets up, runs down the court, but don't go too far because Scoochie steals it away.
Scooch with a very heads-up play, gets it back to V, and, defensively, we're able to get a couple baskets there and get the lead.
And feeling pretty good about things. The Flyers go up, but then right back down by 4, and Devin Scott gave you another nice little lift off the bench.
We've had a lot of guys play, and that's the name of the game for our team. Inside out, 1 more. Big shot by Curry to tie it up with 8 to go.
Ties it up at 55. It's a 4-point St. Joe's lead. Oliver again with the right hand.
Just 2 good pushes by him. He's a tough cover for guys when he gets the defensive rebound.
And then Seibert knocks down the 3, cuts a 6-point deficit in half with 3 minutes left to play. You're going to go inside to Kavanaugh. He takes his time, works it up and in with the left hand. It's a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, he took his time. He was patient. He knew he wasn't going to foul. He just had to create an angle. And, to be honest with you, being down 6 in the last 3 minutes to go, had great communication and confidence at the timeout. 7-0 run to put you up 1 with 30 to go.
Okay, here's the play. Galloway has it. Kyle Davis on him. The arm is up. There's the push. There's the jumper, and it goes down. And you're not a happy camper. We're going to take a couple of looks at this in slow-mo. I don't care what anybody says. When your arm is up before contact is made, that's a push-off.
He created space. That's kind of how you have to put it. And, obviously, through replay and whatnot, at the end of the day, he did get pushed off. They didn't call it. And, I wish we could have done a better job of getting our guys a better look in the last 15 seconds. Just didn't go down.
Got a look from Devin Oliver. It banks off the backboard and then off the rim. And you still get one final opportunity, but you never get the shot up at the buzzer. It goes down as a 70-67 win. A lot of people are calling that a play-in game, but I've got to figure that both of these teams are in the tournament.
I hope so. I think St. Joe's is definitely in the tournament right now. They've advanced to the conference championship. And, with all that we've been able to accomplish in the month of February and March, our resume stacks up pretty good.
Okay, so we're going to take a break, and Archie's going to step aside, and Jim Jabir, the UD women's coach, is going to join us to talk about tournament basketball. That and more when the Archie Miller Show continues. Welcome back to the Archie Miller Show. Jim Jabir, the head coach of the UD women, joins us. And it won't happen tonight. It'll happen tomorrow night for the women's tournament. And Dayton should be on the board someplace there.
That's what everyone says. We're hoping so.
You look at the way this team has played through some adversity. Yes, it's a young basketball team, but You lose Kelly Austria to a season-ending injury. Amber Dean was out for a while with a concussion. Your girls have played through some things.
I think we have. We've had our ups and our downs, some challenges, but every time the kids have risen to them, and we've become a little better for it.
You go into the Atlantic 10 tournament as a pretty big favorite to win the thing. You won the regular season, but then the actual tournament's a different story.
You know, I think we had the toughest road to the championship game. Having to play VCU and their style, their zone, their pressure was really tough. Then you had to play G-Dub the next game. They had just beaten us at their place, and very athletic, long, big team with some imposing post game. So it was a tough battle. And then when you get to the Fordham game, I thought we were a little tired, and Fordham did a masterful job getting ready for us.
Let's start things off with the VCU game, and VCU had you down most of the way.
Most of the way. Tough zone, really athletic kids, and you know what? I think we were down 12 at half, and we found a way to scrape back and fight, and came out looking pretty good.
Allie Malott scores the basket. Here's the big steal. Celeste Edwards gets it from Amber Dean and scores it, and it's a 1-point Dayton lead, or 2-point Dayton lead. They hit a free throw, then they missed a free throw, and that was the ball game.
That poor kid missed a free throw. I felt bad for her, really happy for us, and you know what? That's the way the game goes.
Now here we are against George Washington. Andrea Hoover drives and scores and draws the foul.
Yeah, I felt like we really, the kids felt like they had something to prove to G-Dub, and Hoover's such a tough kid, and she's always a part of what's going around, whether it's a pass or a score or taking a charge. Just a lot of toughness on her part.
Tiffany Johnson takes to the basket, then the inside. Allie Malott's really playing well.
She is. She's kind of become the player we knew she could be. She's starting to feel like she needs to contribute more offensively, be more aggressive, and she's doing that for us.
Championship game against Fordham. You talk about running out of gas a little bit, but they won the A-10 tournament title a year ago and kind of had something to prove on their own, didn't they?
Well, they lost in the championship game to St. Joe's, so they felt they had something to prove. You're right. And we were just kind of like, I think we lost legs, and I really can't tell you exactly why we missed some shots, and I think we played uncharacteristic basketball at the end.
You look at the way things are going. You're going to be watching the selection show Monday night at 7 o'clock at the UD Arena. Bracketology, the experts, the guessers, or whatever you want to call them. Right now they have the Flyers as a 7 seed, I think, playing in Toledo.
Yeah, you know, the NCAA committee, I think they're trying to keep things more regional when they can, save a little money, and draw attendance, drive attendance. So if we are able to go to Toledo, I think a lot of our fans will make that trip up 75 and come and support us.
Yeah, the one thing about Dayton basketball the last couple of years, your fan support has really ballooned. You get a lot of people for home games.
We're in the top 30, 40 in attendance, and we're so thankful and grateful for our fans. I think they make a really big difference. I think we're second in the nation as far as consecutive home wins, and they have a lot to do with that. I really believe that.
The one thing that's important now for the Flyers is you are no longer happy to be in the NCAA tournament. That went away a couple of years ago, didn't it?
We've created a monster, I think. Yeah, and I think it's our expectation that we get into that second weekend. That's what the goal is. That's what the drive is. And so every day we're striving to do that.
As a coach, what's that take? What do you need to do to get past that first game, that second game, and on into the second weekend?
Well, you know, I think it starts the year before when you're scheduling, making sure that you have the right strength of schedule, and then you can lose a game in November, which will impact the selection committee and your seed, which can impact whether you can get into that next weekend. But right now, what we've told our kids most immediately is, you know, we're not happy just to be in it anymore. We have a little chip on our shoulder. We have something to prove, and we want to fight like hell to get out of that first weekend.
All right, so the UD women will find out where they play on Monday night at 7 o'clock. You can see that show, by the way, on ESPN. Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck. I'll be back with Archie Miller to talk more Dayton Flyer basketball in just a couple of minutes, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Archie Miller Show. The coach rejoins us, and now we sit and watch until 6, or wait, I should say, until 6 o'clock. And I know the guys are going to get together at your house to watch the selection show here on CBS, and you've got to have a good feeling that your name is going to be one of those 68.
You know, I think you could obviously feel better about it. You know, I don't necessarily know. I can't say with 100% certainty that we're in or we're out, but we're right there. And I think when you look at all the prognosticators brackets and whatnot, between 8 to 10 teams, it's going to be a tough decision. But I also think we have a lot of things that we have to sell.
If you look at what happened yesterday, the 3 teams that you needed to lose yesterday did lose. The only thing that maybe got in the way of yesterday's games was Providence winning the Big East title. But for the most part, things fell the way you needed them to fall.
Yeah, I think you've been on that Sunday before when you watch these miraculous runs by teams that aren't getting in the tournament. And that didn't happen yesterday. For the most part, everybody, lost and didn't have a chance to steal the bid. Providence may have been in anyway. They captured the Big East title and probably put themselves in and probably got a 4th Big East team alive now. And for us, I think a lot of people are going to make a mockery of the Atlantic 10 getting almost 6 bids, but it's not about a league getting bids, it's teams getting bids. And I think you're judged on your overall season, your overall body of work, and it's judged against the other teams in all other conferences. It's not a conference thing. So if you take all the names off the top of the sheet, I've said this before, and you line up all the resumes, how many teams have a winning record against the top 100 at 10-7? We have 7 true road wins on the season. We have 3 top 25 RPI wins and 5 or 4 and 5 or 4 and 6 maybe against the top 50. So we have a lot of stuff on there that others don't have, and I feel good about that.
Take yourself back to mid-January, though, and the way this team was playing in mid-January. Did you envision this kind of run later on?
No, you actually had to stop envisioning everything. You really had to stop just worrying about what could come down the line or the next win or the next loss, and you really had to start communicating better with your players, had to do a better job of figuring out what we were doing wrong and just giving the guys a chance to survive a tough spill. But you can't do that unless you have tremendous character. You have guys who want to work, and for the most part, from top to bottom, playing a lot of guys, very rarely did we see anybody point a finger or say a whole lot of negative things. And to our kids' credit, they fought their way out of it.
What is the mindset of your team, whether you get in or not? I mean, obviously, we think you're going to be one of in the field. But what's the basketball mindset of this team right now?
Well, it's always delicate right now because we're in this mode of the tournament. If you don't get in, is it the gas kind of let out of the balloon, so to speak, and your season's over. And we talked a lot after our game against St. Joe's in New York about we have one more opportunity to play a lot of basketball. The team has done an amazing job in terms of finishing. And whatever tournament we're in or whoever we play, we have to go in with that same mentality of what we've been doing and give ourselves a chance to do something special here late in March.
If you don't know, the selection show comes up at 6 o'clock tonight right here on Channel 7. We will be with the Flyers as they watch to see their name called, and you can see that on CBS as well because we're going to be feeding them. So you're going to be able to see the Flyers watching as they hopefully get a bid to the NCAA tournament. That's going to do it for us for this season.